Good morning, everyone. STK here with my good friend, Lindsay Hack, rockstar AI image designer, with an impromptu live for y'all. And I'm bringing out the Southern accent today because this is really special. Absolutely. Lindsay, you have been doing some incredible stuff with AI images, vision boards, future self. Tell us a little bit about you and your journey with AI.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. First of all, when you sent me a message saying want to, I was like, yes, I
Yeah.
do. Impromptu. Absolutely. So yeah, I've been working with AI images now for almost a year, more for me for fun back in,
Mm.
January, February. Jonathan Mass, who obviously you know very well, our AI mentor, was like, hey, this looks fun. And I thought that would be fun, just for
Yeah.
fun for me. And played with it. And I've been doing vision board workshops for 15 years. And when it came time to do my next vision board workshop, I was like, I wonder what would happen. And I was completely blown away
Yeah.
because my dirty little secret's always that I have not actually ever been able to visualize. And it's something I never told anybody. I just kind of kept to myself, coaches,
Yeah.
programs. I sat with the Dalai Lama in India, and it was just like blank. I always say, like, the never ending story, the nothingness. That's what it was like. I could never see my future self, yet I know how important it is. And
Yeah.
so when my AI images popped into my vision board, I had that moment. And I have not shut up about it now for the last, 10 months, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people like me who couldn't visualize. So bridging that gap, but also bringing that future self to right now, standing on stage, writing your book, doing the travel that you've always wanted to do, becoming her, stepping into her. Once you see her, you can't unsee her. And so I am very passionate about it. And you will see I talk fast, I use my hands, because I just know how impactful. I've done 12 plus workshops now over the last 10 months. I have seen incredible things happen from people doing things they never thought they would, writing books they have been talking about for 20 years. Even
Yeah.
myself, when I don't necessarily want to go to the gym, my AI image pops up and I get my butt out of the chair and I go to the gym because my future self is saying, you deserve better, get moving. So it's super exciting. And I've just gone, as I call it, down like the absolute rabbit hole of imaging. I've worked hard on finding different ways to make it more real, realistic, hyper realistic. But then I've also gone the other side too, like, riding on a unicorn in cotton candy clouds, because that's fun too. So it's just been this really amazing kind of change of now being able to see my future self, stepping into her, and then helping and supporting other people too.
Well, I love it so much because it was a pivot for you to, you know, venture into this world so bravely. And I think that's required for, the next 10-year evolution of technology and AI. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of technology. But I think what you've done so beautifully is you've married your passions and the fun side of what you
Yes.
do and translated that into how to make money with your passions and that fun side of what you do. And I think that's the way everybody should look at their business as a whole. How can I have more fun? How can I get paid to learn cool shit for other
Mhm.
people? Like, that just blows my mind. And when I think about my future self, she's a total rock star at doing that. She is unapologetic about stepping into that role as the person who, like, I get paid to learn things for
Yes.
other people. And with my love of learning, that is just like a fulfillment of purpose for me. And I think AI images have helped me not only see my beach house with me in it, um,
Yes.
me see the car that I want or that future body that I'm working for, that 80-year-old flexible, in shape self. And I said that on your intake form. So we're going to get into it today and have you do some demo with my photos, which is going to be super fun. But your
Yes.
questionnaire asked me a question that was so powerful for me. And I just did it last night. And it said, how do you want to move and feel in your body? And I said, that 80-year-old version of me wants to move like the 30-year-old version of me. The way I walk, the way I dance, the way I can sit down in a chair, like I'm sitting right now with one leg completely under me. There's not even many 60-year-old people that can do that versus 80-year-old people.
Mhm.
And I said things like to be able to sit down on the floor and stand up, no hands, unassisted. I practice that now so that my 80-year-old self can get up off the floor. And that's the kind of stuff that's possible when you really start thinking about that future vision of yourself, not just a year from now, but like, who do I want to be 20 years from now? So thank
Yes,
you for that.
exactly. Yeah, no problem. And I think that's such a big part of it, right? We often
Mhm.
think in the moment, but everything that I do is for my 80-year-old self. I want to get
Yeah.
off the toilet by myself. I don't want to be a burden to my kids. I don't want to be a place where I
Yeah.
can't move or go visit them or do whatever. So yeah, that's a really powerful statement to ask. I do a custom GPT, which you got to go experience, and a deep
Mhm.
dive questionnaire. So when I'm working with people, I want to get the most information because it's simple things as like Apple or Android, silver or gold jewelry.
Yeah.
Like those are important too, because you need to find that emotional connection to your
Mhm.
images. Otherwise, they're just generic images like they've always been. So
Yeah.
getting deep into that is super, super important. But it is finding, and of course, my background, as you know, is in health and fitness. And so for me, that is a really big
Yeah.
part of it. It's like I want not only the body that I want, like you say, an 80-year-old body and my 30-year-old self, I want to be able to move and do all those things. So when you start creating images like that, and all of a sudden you're doing yoga or you're, walking the beach, or in your case, you're surfing, and it doesn't matter how old you are, that's really what it's all about.
Mhm.
When I say that's the most important thing. But going back to what you said about the fun, I was joking with my husband the other day. He's like, oh, I just want a day, to just do all myself. He likes to go hiking and into the mountains. I'm like, I just want a day that I can play with AI all day long. And that's
Yeah.
why I'm excited about it. I have a client who I'm doing a music video for. I have somebody else who I'm doing, videos for her kids, graduation. So like all of these things that come together, as you said,
Mhm.
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And, I think back to like the Ikigai, which is like, years ago, where they say like what you can do, what you can make money at, what you're passionate about. And that's what I found here, because I get so excited. Like when you're like, do you want to do, I like, yes, I want to show this. I love doing
Yeah.
this. And yeah, it's such a wonderful feeling, because even though it was a bit of a pivot for me, it's just, I feel so alive when I mean, and as I'm sure you could tell, I get very, very
Yeah,
excited.
and it's so, I'm honored to be a part of that for you. I'm honored to watch you do it. It's been absolutely incredible. I'm even excited for the possibilities of, you know, having clients use you because I'm good at this stuff. But AI images, you're the expert. Like
Yeah.
you are doing things that I can do, but they're not my zone of genius. And so I love when I find someone and I see that in them. And that's so powerful when you have a team of people and I consider you a team member. Like you make up my mental team of what's possible in the AI space. And I absolutely am obsessed with that. So thank you for being that.
Yes.
And
Well,
I
thank
have an
you.
hour. Oh, you're so welcome. I have an hour on my calendar at least once a week, sometimes three, just to explore new tools. And I just want to
Mhm.
throw out there's so many tools out there. And I was really psyched about this one tool. And it's not even important which one. But I spent 1 hour playing with it last night and I hated it. I hated it. And the hype around this tool and, you know, the output of it, I thought it was horrible. And I thought, I'm so glad I spent that hour, and now I know I don't need it and I will never revisit it. And a lot of these tools overlap each other. And so I want to encourage people to find what they need for their business and then put blinders on, still experiment if there's a new tool that could help you, but really lean into those people like me, like you, who are experimenting with new things and really focus on using the tool that's going to help you move your business forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so important. I mean,
Yeah.
as we've talked before, the AI tools are coming out like 100 miles a minute, and you can't keep up with it. People do. Jonathan's amazing at it. I don't know how he sleeps. But the
Mhm.
rest of us, I look at the tools that are going to help me do what I need to do. So all of the editing, the AI
Right.
imaging, all of those
Right.
tools. The other ones are nice to have, and I love playing with them. And as you
Mhm.
said, you try it out and you see. But I also think, again, having somebody to do it for you. So I teach workshops on how to do these images. People get really excited about it. They come, they spend time with me,
Mhm.
time, investment, and whatever. And then they realize that they just don't really want to spend their time doing that. So can I do
Yeah.
it for them? Yes, of course I can. And so it's just really interesting to see that, we all want to know all the things, or at least I do, you do. We know the people who really like to learn want to know all the things, but
Mhm.
you can't know all of it, and you can't
Right.
be an expert in all of it. And I always say, like Jonathan, when he first taught us how to do the AI images, it was like this level. And I've gone, 65 levels deeper from that, because this is where I spend
Yeah.
90% of my day. So of course I'm going to know more. And if you want, images done, or if you want a vision board done, I will happily do that for you. If you want to learn, I will teach you as well. However, I feel like a lot of people want to learn, but then they don't have the time or the mental capacity to do the work. So that's where I
Yeah.
come in with, helping them and supporting them that way too.
Well, you make it look so easy, and I know,
Mhm.
with my favorite tools, I do make it look very, very easy, and I think it's the experimenter mindset. One of my favorite tools is Notebook LM, and I just did something for a client where I took 50 of their sales conversations, transcripts, put it in Notebook LM, and then said, tell me the commonalities with all these discovery calls. Tell me the
Ooh.
problems that the people complained about. What were the solutions offered? And make a better call framework for our future salesperson for company XYZ to actually implement. And my
Wow.
sales coach, Jeff, would be so proud of me for doing that, because when you actually take somebody and analyze, well, what are you saying? And maybe you're turning people off. Maybe you're not answering their questions. Maybe they have problems that you didn't hear. So,
Right.
using AI to expand your senses, I think, is really next level. And you have done something with the sense of visualization, with
Mhm.
seeing yourself, with expanding what's possible on social media. So I know when I shared my first AI images after learning from Jonathan, the reaction was, "Oh my god, how did you do such a great job with this? My images look like this, and
Yeah.
yours look like you." And I'm excited to see how you do such a good job with that, because you've just blown me out of the water with what you've
Yeah.
created.
Well, thank you. And it is a lot of play. And I
Yeah.
say that, most of the AI tools, they call it a playground for a reason. And it really
Mhm.
is just have fun with it. And so I
Yes.
love doing lives like this, because First of all, I always say, like, it's still AI. We might have Suzanne with 4 heads and 2 arms and like ridiculousness. And the beauty of
Yeah,
that is I have an entire file of AI bloopers that make me laugh every single day. So
every
that's the
single
first thing I
day.
always say. Have fun with it, play with it, don't get frustrated with it. Know that yes, there's things that you know are going to do and that I've worked really hard at getting done, but it's still a tool, and
Yeah.
tools sometimes do the funniest things. So I can't wait to see what kind of comes up with
All
this.
right.
It could be
Well,
amazing or it might
let's get
not.
into it. I will say that my favorite blooper, for me personally, was an extra arm. I was trying to do an image of me like pointing at a whiteboard, and there was an extra arm there, and I was like,
Uh,
maybe I should just use it because this is kind of
yeah.
funny.
Well, and the funniest part about that is, scroll stopping images is what it's all
Yeah.
about, right? I mean, let's be honest, in a very, very loud world, that's going to stop people. And I posted an image a few months ago now where my screen, I had a laptop screen, was actually turned the wrong way. And I posted it on purpose because I was like, I wonder how many people will notice. Well, people
Yeah.
did notice, of course. And they're like, your screen is on backwards. And I'm like, let's start the conversation. It's an AI
Mhm.
image and, all of these things. And so I love that. I mean, I've had my head on backwards. I've been driving on the wrong side of the car without the steering wheel. Like, I mean, it has been amazing to see. My
Yeah.
husband, who has a shaved head, has like this beautiful man bun. Like, it's just, I love it. There's so much fun to be had in
Yeah.
AI bloopers. But
Yeah.
and where I think people really struggle is that they'll try it and they're like, oh, I can't get the right image, or I can't get it. They'll get frustrated and then they quit. And so I always come up to say, like, just have fun with it. As I said, we're going to do this live. I've done one already and it turned out okay, but the next one I do might turn out absolutely terrible. The facial features could be wrong.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of things go on, but that's the beauty of it. That's the fun
Okay.
of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay. So, I've already shared my screen. So you're going to put me into the show, right? Of the screen.
Yes.
Yes.
There we
Okay.
go.
All right. So first thing I want to talk about is we're talking about going bananas for Nana Banana. And
Yeah.
I actually go straight into lmarena.ai because I've had many, many people be like, where do I find it? There are some things out there that you can pay for. I don't recommend that because you actually can go right into LM Arena, which is basically Google's notebook LM Arena. Now, there are a few things to remember if you are looking to do this. You need to make sure that you come over here and you pick direct chat versus battle. Battle is just two anonymous models that are trying to battle for who's going to win. And then you have to come down to image. So those are the two things in LM Arena. Now, Nano Banana is also available in OpenArt, in FAL, in all those places that host AI. I always say FAL, OpenArt, kind of like the Netflix, right? So Netflix holds movies and TV shows and video games. That's the same thing. So you can get Nano Banana in all of those as well. I just happen to go straight to the source because I do find that it works well. If you are going to do some more different types of editing, you can use some of the other ones, but I love this. So what I did,
I actually access through Google Gemini.
Yes, exactly. It is a Google product, right? So I use my Google one sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I do it here, but it is a free version. So if you were ever finding somebody who's trying to charge you for it, there's a nanabanana.ai and somebody was on the ball, bought that domain and started charging people for it. And unfortunately, a lot of people fell for that. You don't have to. It's all part of Google. So if you have Google One or Gemini Pro, it is already in there. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. So what I did is obviously with Suzanne, you have some images that you showed me that you were really excited about. So I took that one image. So again, let me just be very clear on this. A lot of people are trying to use Nana Banana as a generating tool. Okay. I don't recommend it being a generating tool. I recommend it being an editing tool. The editing capabilities are by far super easy. It removes the need for Photoshop. It removes some of these really challenging editing tools. But when you put in a photo of yourself and then you ask it to recreate your AI twin or your AI clone, I don't feel like it does a very good job. And I actually did a YouTube video on my YouTube page that shows exactly. I took 15 photos of myself and did it into Nana Banana, and it came out a little wonky, not quite right. So I always recommend training your twin using 15 to 35 images in a file, in an OpenArt, somewhere where you're actually going to train your LoRa properly to get a really good, hyper realistic image of your face. That's the most important thing. Okay, so that's the first thing. So I have this image, of course, I've already grabbed one that you sent me. And what I did is I basically created a prompt because we talked a little bit about edgy, we want rock star, we want this
Mhm.
idea. And so when I put it in, this was what came out. Okay. So sitting on a chair, you got your rock star spikes, your belt
Not
on there, you
bad.
got your microphone, right? It's not bad. When I look at this from a very quick perspective, I was like, okay, pretty cool. When I look at it from my very, very perfectionist eyes, I'm like, ooh, I could do better. But let's
Mhm.
just go with it for right now. Okay. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of the idea. And so this was actually a pretty complex prompt that I grabbed. One of the
Mhm.
things I love about Nana Banana is it actually doesn't require a lot of prompting. Okay, so it can be a very, very simple prompt. And I actually believe that Nana Banana actually works better with a simpler prompt than with a more complex one. The only other thing that I am going to tell you really quickly, because you're going to see this right now, is unlike a ChatGTP or a Notebook LM or any of those other AIs, there's no continuity to the conversation. So if I tried to pop in here right now, okay, change her from sitting on the chair this way, it won't have a clue what I'm talking about. You always
Gotcha.
have to re-prompt with a new image or the same image, just in a different way. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to pick an image, which I'm going to
You
go with
think it could
this
make my
one.
hair a little longer since it's
Yeah, I
grown and poof?
sure can. Okay, so I'm going to come back. So I use a custom GPT called Flux Prompt Pro.
Mhm.
And what I did is I put in the images that I have of yours. And I said, we're going for the rock star vibe, jumping, sitting in a chair. These were some of the things you said to me. So
Yeah.
it's actually given me some prompts. This one will be fun because it's the jump one. And again, this could go horribly wrong, but we're going to try it
Yeah.
anyways. We're going to try it anyways. So I'm going to put it in here. And so I'm going to take, I like to go a little bit younger because sometimes AI makes us look like our grandmas. So I'm going to say blonde, medium length hair. And we'll see how, whoops, length hair and see how this works. So
Okay.
again, I'm just going to press go. I always recommend you check your prompts, but I don't very often do it. It's usually once they come up, I'm like, ooh, what happened there? That I actually am like, oh, I should probably check my prompt.
Yeah.
But this will just give you an idea. Usually it comes in about 10 seconds. Again, all right, there we go. So you jump in, hands in the air, hair going out, right? We've got the outfit that we really like, the black, the leather pants. So it gives you an idea. So what I'm going to do here, let me just show you what I find. So let's say we love this photo. I wouldn't again,
Okay.
perfectionist mind of mine is like, okay, but let's say we love it. This is what I love so much about Nano Banana. So now I'm going to take that photo that we just did, and I'm
Mhm.
going to say change the background to a stage and audience. And
Ooh.
I'm just going to do it very simple, very easy. And what it should do, and again, remember, fingers crossed, who knows what could happen, could be fun. It should take it and put you in a new position, a new background location. So there you go. So it just takes my words, and now you're literally jumping on a stage, obviously, kind of looking the wrong way. And again, perfectionist of me is like, okay, there's some things there. But what it does is it's very, very good at keeping the image without
And
changing it. And that has been one of in my opinion, AI images biggest fault
mhm.
is trying to keep the continuity of the face, the characteristics, and trying
Yeah.
to continue it. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I love this image, but can we? And then it's like, well, I could, but it's probably going through a whole level of work again. With Nano
Yeah.
Banana, it's not doing that. You're actually able to keep the same character and just change things up. So
All
I'm
right.
actually
So
gonna, oh yeah,
let's
go.
let's change that and put
Okay.
high heels on me,
Okay.
and instead of a smile, like a Billy Idol, like, snarl.
Billy Idol snarl. Okay, let's do this. So we're gonna do this. We're
Just
gonna
for just
change
for
the
fun.
shoes to black high heels. And instead of a smile, luckily it knows how terrible
And
of a
do
speller I
do
am.
high heel boots because we don't
Okay.
we don't want, like, high heels that are, like, suit high heels. We want,
Okay.
you know
High heel boots. And then, oh, see, terrible spelling. Luckily it knows. And a snarl. Let's see what happens. It might turn you into a tiger. I don't know at this point. And that's the beauty of it. But so this is how we can get really, really and emotionally connected, because you just saw high heel boots and a Billy Idol snarl.
Yeah.
So now we're just changing it up enough. There you go. So I can't really see the boots. So this is interesting.
No, it doesn't look
I
like
don't
it really.
love those. Okay, so let's go back. What am I doing here? We're gonna go back. I actually prefer this one. Okay, so I want rock star boots, and let's just say and not
like say closed mouth.
Yeah, I was just gonna say not smiling with a closed
snarky or something, you know.
Closed. Oh my goodness. Closed mouth.
Because I find that maybe it's the dental hygienist in me. My teeth are never right.
Exactly. They're never right. And so again, now you can actually get very specific about teeth, for example. And people often ask me, you know, how do I troubleshoot my smile? How do I troubleshoot my teeth? And again, one of the best ways is troubleshooting is using like a chat GTP. So we could come into the prompt here, right? And I could actually upload your image here and just say, the smile is not right. I want a snarl and more serious look. Prompt a better prompt for this, right? And now all of a sudden I'm using ChatGPT in the custom prompt area to troubleshoot the problems that I'm seeing with my images. So it's basically saying here, okay, blah, 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 blah. We're gonna copy it again. And we're going to come back here, but let's see what happens. Okay, so there's more of a snarl. Ooh, look at those boots on that one. And so see it's changed the background a little bit. I didn't ask it to, but of course, think about this. If you don't tell AI what to do, it's going to fill in the blanks. So it's like, well, you've been talking about, you know, rock star, so I'm just going to put it in. I mean, that's a pretty cool background, I have to admit. Right, hands in the air, so you got some cool boots.
Unless everybody in the audience is me too.
Yeah, well, so that is another thing that definitely happens a lot in AI. One of the best ways I have found to do that is if you're talking about an audience in like a speaking stage or a retreat, you put a diverse group of men and women of different sizes, shapes, and colors. And it helps the AI to know you don't just want 65 of you staring back clapping, right? So it's very, very, very weird. Okay, so that one's cool, but we're gonna just come back here. I'm gonna start with the original. Not that one. I'm gonna start with the original image, which was the one of you here, and we're just gonna change it up with the post that talks about your mouth. And we're going to see what happens. Sometimes it works really well. Like I said, sometimes you have a really weird mouth. So that's the beauty of practicing, trying, playing. And this comes back to why people say to me, well, I just don't have time for that. And that's why I come in, because I love this. This is what I do for my life. All right. So let's see. So it's changed your face a lot here, right? So it's changed your face a lot with the smile. So again, this would be the part where we would really play with it and try the snarl. And again, if the other part of that is you just can't quite get your teeth, having no teeth smile. Like, so my husband never smiles with his teeth ever. This is something that he's never done in his life. I don't know if it's an English thing. I don't know what it is, but every time I would do an AI image, it would always smile. And it would be really weird because I never see that smile either. So I had to really kind of find a way to say smile without your teeth, without making their face look all weird and wonky. Okay, so I want to do this one because I wanted to see how it would come up. I did a prompt for you for your car. So Rockstar car is what I want to see how it shows. I'm going to pick a new photo, see if it makes any difference. And we're going to paste it. Again, this is a little bit more of a complex prompt that I got from the custom GPT, but it could be as simple as standing in front of a white Porsche, right? It very much could be as simple as that, but we're going to see what comes up with this one. But as I said, this isn't a generator. We've already got your images. We've already worked with those. Oh, there you go. Look at that. So Here's a little bit short. Again, I could play and ask lots of things about this. When it comes down to it, I think I want
Mhm.
more of the car. So that would be something that I would play with. But it is a really, really solid way to start the process. So even this one, so let's say I download this one and I come back into my downloads. I pick this one
Which
up.
I think that's so great because in the past, when I was making images with, Flux,
Mm-hmm.
you can't do this. You can't
Right.
you can't take something, "Oh, I like this, but let's
Right.
make my hair a little bit longer or make the car a little bit more visible." You're basically starting over every single
Yes.
time. So,
Yes.
it's
So
definitely a little bit.
it saves time. It definitely saves
Yes,
time. Now, I'll tell you,
yes,
if you are in foul and you're looking at doing that, okay, there you go. So I wanted to show the car a little
yes,
bit
that
more,
is.
right? Rock star car in the middle of nowhere. You just got out. Your hair is all crazy because you've been driving with the music blaring, right?
Yeah,
That's the other thing too. What I like to do with these images is create the story that goes along with it, right? Because there's one thing to look at an image, and I'm sure you feel this. I get goosebumps feeling this because I've heard you talk about this car forever. But
mhm,
once you start creating the story, right? You're on a
yeah,
road trip, the music's loud, you've got no cares in the world, you're controlled, your environment. I love your term, you're unfuckwithable. Like it's
yeah,
the best term ever, right? You just stepped out, somebody snapped a picture, and you feel that in your
mhm,
bones. And that's why the future self is so powerful, because you look
yeah,
at this and you're just like, yeah, top down, white. I mean, I think you said you wanted either red interior or white. I can't remember,
yeah,
but on that one. So again, we could take this and make that change really, really simply by adding in the red interior. So that's why I find this to be just such a simple
yeah.
editing tool. So red interior, leather. Whoops.
And how about me on
Le-
the other side of the car, like I just stepped out?
Okay, in leather interior, um, have the woman on the other side like she just stepped out. Oops. It knows I don't know how to spell. So there we go. Luckily, it doesn't judge me for my spelling,
Yeah,
especially when I'm typing on live. So the only thing I was going to say just really quickly in FAL, for example, one of the settings, there is a setting that you can actually change that helps with what you just said. It's like
mhm,
starting. So in the setting, it's called a seed. It says random. Every time you press run, it's going to randomly add a new image. Oh, so it didn't change anything there. Well, that's nice. So I guess there's a little bit of red there, but
yeah,
so this is where you have to kind of work with what the images are doing, what's going on with it, and then again, I could take this, I could bring it back into here, and I could say I want a prompt. Get me on the right side. So if I put it in here again, always upload the image you're talking about.
yep,
I want this to have red interior and have the woman standing on the other side.
say
Create
say the
my prompt.
driver's side and see if
Uh,
that helps.
that is good. The drivers.
And I
Whoops.
know once in a while when I've done car images that it'll put you on the British side of the car,
Yeah.
driving,
Yes.
steering
Oh,
wheel
so
will
many
be
times.
on the
And then
side.
yeah, I've had to play with that one so many times because I actually do have a lot of international clients
Uh-huh,
who are on the British side, right? I have
yeah,
one who lives in England. And so I'm trying to get him, and he specifically wanted a British car in a California scene. So, oh my goodness, was that a challenge? But
yeah,
again, we work with it. And as I mean, I know you know, and I am the same. I love a good challenge. So
oh,
I'm
yeah,
just like, okay, let's do this. All right, let's see what this prompt will come up with and see if it helps. So ChatGPT for the custom prompt is for the custom GPT is really great to help troubleshoot, right? Always upload that photo and say, I don't like this, or I want to change that, or how do I do this? And then create a prompt for it. And that is probably the best troubleshooting way that I can example to give you without getting so frustrated down the rabbit hole.
mhm,
Um, But again, have fun with it. I mean, here we are laughing about, the fact that we're on one side and it didn't change. When people get, I'll see, yeah, there you go. You're driving. I don't even see a steering wheel on this one. So whether you are supposed to be on the right side of the road or the wrong side. Now, I've lived in England. This could be where you are driving on this side and on this side of the road versus this. But anyways, so we would play with it. And I think, I could change the background for you to be on the England streets. And then all of a sudden it makes more sense. Unless, of course, you haven't been to England and that doesn't emotionally connect to you. But that's the beauty of it. You can create and design and do anything that you want. And I always say the only limitation is your imagination. When I look back at some of the prompts that we talked about at the very beginning, right? So I have rock star chair pose. I have mid-air jump pose. I have glam rock sitting pose with studio lighting, right? Rock star in action, a studio stride. So these are just different options that they came up with when I turned around and said, I want rock star vibe coming out, which is obviously the words that you used. And so that's kind of the beauty of it, is that we can just play with it, take an image, put a prompt in, and just see what comes up from it. And honestly, the best thing is being clear yourself. So I used to always say in FAL or open art, the more clarity your prompt has, the more clarity your photo has, which is true. In Nano Banana, it's a little bit different. As I said, you can be as simple as change the background, make my black pants red, right? It can be very simple as well. So you can do both and get really great results as well. So, look at there. Here's your snarl. It's coming back with the snarl. I love it. I love it. So now you're playing a guitar. I mean, obviously, when you say rock star, that's the first thing that it comes to mind with people. But it's having fun and really just bringing it to whatever it is that has that feeling. And obviously, I use a custom GPT, and then I have my own custom GPT I create that basically takes all the information and I put it in here. And then what it does is it actually brings me what would be, in my case, a vision board scenario set. So here is what, from your custom GPT and your deep dive, right? Sunrise, power ritual, Porsche freedom rides, rockstar coaching session. By the way, this studio sounds amazing. And this is all based on the information you gave me in the custom GPT. So that's the beauty of it. I'm creating for you what your dream scenario is, right? Rockstar vibes, how you're feeling with your Porsche, those type of things. And once you see that, then you get to create that story that goes along with it. And so what I usually do is I also provide some journal prompting, and I say, what does it feel like? Do you get goosebumps? Talk about your story. And if it doesn't feel those things, then we go back to the drawing board and we keep working, because the whole point is to have it perfect for that, future self. And the biggest thing I get a lot of people, especially women, unfortunately, is just how they look in their bodies. And I say often, remember, this is your future self. So what you look like today and what your future self looks like, in 1 year's time, 10 years time, 6 months time might be a little bit different. So we definitely want to look at the perspective as well as the story that we tell ourselves when it comes to really connecting to these images. And that's the power of it.
I love it from the aspect that I'm thinking that this could be such a help in connecting with your ideal client as well. So beyond the vision board, what's next for funnel design or website design? Because, when I think about connecting with my ideal client, if they see an image of me that resonates with them, that's so much more powerful than something that resonates with me. And getting into that mind of my ideal client, I do a great job of it with my copy, but doing that with images can be so, so powerful, even if it's just a power pose of you or a pose that is where your ideal client wants to be. And when I think about like a fitness coach or a trainer or even a nutrition person, creating a after image of your client before they've done the work Wow,
Mhm.
how powerful
Mhm.
could that be? Like, let me show you how good you're gonna look once I'm done with you.
Right,
And
right.
I don't know, I just think the creativity and the possibilities are endless when it comes to business as well.
No, and I love that because I mean, you think about how you connect with people, right? And we've talked about
Mhm,
this multiple times. If it's whether it be the Great Dane or whether it be I do triathlon or whether it be somebody likes Lego, and all of a
mhm,
sudden you're dropping some of those subtle hints into your imaging when you're
yeah,
talking to them. I work with somebody who does presentations, big presentations, like to try to get the business, and they asked me, how can I incorporate architect into this so they can see and really connect with me that way. And this
mhm,
isn't, we're not lying, we're not turning around. Obviously it's all about integrity, of course, and authenticity.
yeah,
But if you're talking to somebody, and I mean, you've explained this multiple times in stories, if people have listened, when you see somebody with a Great Dane, all of a sudden you're connected to them instantly without even really meaning to be. And so
mhm,
now it's not because you don't like Great Danes, it's because truly in real life you do, but now you have that connection. So if you had somebody that was, you knew was that connection, and you had an image of you walking a Great Dane, all of a sudden that emotional connection is now to your client, potential client, their clients. And it's just, I mean, again, it's a beautiful synergy of how we can bring AI into so many areas. This weekend I'm teaching a
mhm,
workshop on how to create these images, but I'm also talking about how to attract people to you,
yeah,
how to have these scroll stopping images where people are just like, wait, what? I mean, that's kind of the three arms, the two legs, that kind of thing. How do
mhm,
we do that so that people in a very, very noisy online world, how do we get them to stop and even read a sentence, or maybe be like, wait, what's she doing there? And it's that 3 seconds that it takes for them to have a moment to read your stuff or attract to you or look at your stuff to then maybe reach out to you, etc. So there's so many possibilities with these images, and I've just been loving doing them all because it's such a creative way. And it's funny because
yeah,
somebody said to me, you must be so creative or you must be so techie, and I'm like, I am the absolute opposite. I'm like, IT help desk is my husband. That's the first thing. Second thing
mhm,
is I don't draw, I don't do any of those things. People laugh at my stick figures. This is just a different way of dealing with that creativity, and
yeah.
I love it. And it's just been so much fun.
Well, I think there's, you touched on a little bit the integrity piece. We're not suggesting that you make an image of you with a car you don't have and say you have it. Like
Exactly.
I that's the future car I'm going to have, but I wouldn't post that picture on social media and say, "Look what I bought. Like I'm so rich. Like look what I just did." No, that's not
Exactly.
what we're saying.
Exactly.
And I think this is really important for the people who aren't embracing AI images or who scoff at them like, "Oh no, I wouldn't do that." I want to just say that there are bad people who are going to lie to you anyway.
In
Your
every way.
job
Right.
is to be discerning in the online space. And I'm not
Always.
suggesting, making images and, saying you own a jet when you don't own a jet or saying you have 10,000 clients, in a stadium when you don't.
Right.
But that future vision of yourself that wants those things, amazing. Just
Hmm.
disclose that, you know?
Yes.
And then the second thing I wanna, ask before we wrap up is when you think about doing images for someone's website or
Mhm.
doing images, and I've said this to numerous photographers who are nervous about AI, because listen, photo shoots are very expensive. AI
Mhm.
photo shoots are a cheaper alternative to that. And what I've said to every photographer that's upset about AI, embrace it and use it yourself because it can add to a photo package.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. I love working. I actually work with quite a few photographers, and the beautiful thing about it is they give me suggestions because I'm not a photographer. And that's
Right.
the thing. I mean, I always say AI only enhances what you already know. So when a photographer brings AI imaging into their world, whether it's a hybrid or it's however they decide to do it, they're bringing their skills, their
Yeah.
experience, their work into an already existing beautiful model. And so I see it as just being such an incredible opportunity, when it comes to people who know about lighting and people who know about, all of these camera angles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've learned about that. I don't know about that. And so I think, we often say, and I say this in every workshop I speak to, is I don't think it's an AI conversation. I think it's a human being conversation. That's
Yeah.
my full.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always had people pretending they have jets and pretending they make too much money way before AI images is. But I think it has to come down to what you feel is right. So again, I have this image of my body that I want,
Mhm.
triceps popping and whatever. It is on my vision board. It is on my phone, but I
Yeah.
would never put that on my website and say, come join me, look at me, I'm this way, come join my fitness program. That
Right.
is not an ethical thing in my opinion. So I think everybody who uses AI images has to ask themselves where they feel their ethic and morals sit when it comes to that.
Yeah.
For me, I'm never telling somebody this is what I look like. I mean, first of all, tattoos are still a really hard thing to get onto AI imaging. So when you see an image without a tattoo, it's an AI image. But I'm
Yeah.
also not like, look at me, I went to Greece this weekend. No, my future
Right.
self is
Right.
enjoying a mimosa on a balcony in Greece. So it is really about that. But yes, with websites, and I'm working with a branding expert right now, actually, and she doesn't do photography. She's always hired out a photographer. And so when we talk about costs for
Mhm.
her as a branding strategist, she creates all the things. She would hire out the photographer. That would obviously be a massive cost. The person would have to spend time, energy, effort. Again, I don't love doing that. Some people do.
Hair,
Not a
hair,
fan at all. Yeah,
makeup.
nope.
What
I don't
what
love it.
about the cost of all the clothes that you want for your photo shoot? Uh,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
did a
It's
photo of me in the very, very beginning, of me in this incredible turquoise ball gown walking down a New York City middle of the street, traffic and people, and I'm in this incredible gown.
mhm.
I could have never had that dress on in a real photo. I mean, I guess but am I gonna
You could
spend
have. Yeah.
thousands of dollars on one dress when I did an AI photo shoot and I did 7 different dresses and
Right.
picked the one that I liked the best.
Yeah.
And I recently saw a personal stylist using it very, very similarly. So,
Yes, I,
so
I
many
also do. Yeah,
outfits.
I work with a stylist who then you can now say, "Hey, what will this outfit look on me?"
Yeah.
We put them together, and now we know. I mean, I always laugh. I mean, I wear black probably 99% of my life, and I put myself in like a power red leather suit, and I was like, "This is going to be ridiculous," and I was like, "Oh," I was
I
like,
like
"Maybe
it.
you should go get a red leather suit." So I think it's just the limit that we
Yeah,
have had on ourselves is no longer there, right?
yeah.
We open it up and it's now imagination is limitless. I can be in the Eiffel Tower. I can be on, the streets of Spain. I can be
Mhm.
wherever. And that becomes part of my brand if you're doing websites or branding or whatever. Or it can just be fun. Like I said, riding a unicorn in cotton candy skies. Fun,
Yeah,
right?
I love
It's
it.
all of the above. Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for this today. It
You're
was super
welcome.
fun. And if anyone who is catching the replay has questions for Lindsay, just drop them in the comments and she will definitely make sure to get in touch with you or reach out to her or me. And we'd be happy to guide you on your way to attending one of Lindsay's incredible workshops or working with her for your own images. Thanks so much, Lindsay.
Yes. Thank you for having me. It was amazing.
Love it. Love it. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.